Welcome back, everyone. It is week one, day number 2 of the PCS. I am your temporary new host, and Frank Nightstar, and over with me, joining with me, of course, Jenny, the ever so lovely Jenny. How's your return to casting experience been?
It's been really fun. It's been good. I feel like you've been like going easy on me and it's been like you're really comfortable for 2 days. I feel like I'm not like entirely like myself and like nuts yet, but I will be. I will be. We'll get the Ririchu Bankai soon enough. But before we get into that, guys, PCS 2022 is sponsored by CTBC Bank, and we'd also like to thank Riot, Curie Life Co, as well as Garena, of course, for PCS League operations as well as full production. Without, of course, we wouldn't be able to power our favorite league.
Boom, clean. The power of co-hosting right here.
But this way, man.
No,
I get this.
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
mirrored all the time. How like after 2 years, I still get this wrong. No wonder, like we're not talking.
Yeah,
about,
you
like,
just
really
have to
but-
identify, is it towards your cabinet or is it towards your bed? For me, it's towards my bed.
Holy crap!
It's
You're a
genius.
genius. You're so big brain. But guys, what we're hoping to see is more big brain plays. We've got DWT team on your screens. There's the roster. There is Lakunai in the top side. WSL. Xiao2. No, it went away. Xiao2, who has a name change to go together with the Bang2 synergy over in bot.
Yeah, and how as support, and of course, this is a completely new team. Refreshed with, of course, carrying some pieces coming in from Hurricane from last split. But the moving pieces, we look to see some growing pains at the start, and given the fact that they have some region differences as far as where they are playing, maybe not the cleanest synergy through perhaps even the entirety of the split. We'll see how it develops.
Yeah, I'm really rooting for them hard because when we were looking at the player cams yesterday, as you can see, like, just their bot lane, Bang2 as well as Enhel, they're super smiley, super excited to just, like, be here for Bang2 it's once again and stuff. But yesterday, after their loss in their post-match, player cameras, like, the players just really looked very devastated. So I'm just hoping that they can try to turn it around. Of course, versus J Team, this might not be the best game for them to try and get that mental reset. But talking about Taipei J Team, one of my personal favorite teams in the PCS. Of course, we've got Rock, their newest addition to the summer split, and the rest of the roster, of course, is going to be super familiar to anyone who watched Spring, Kongyura, Uniboy, Lil V, as well as Enso over in the bottom side. I've got very high hopes for this roster. Of course, JT, they're coming off of a third place spring split finish, but if you're watching playoffs, the third place, like, you don't fully understand. What you don't get is that they were so close to inching out PSG in the lower bracket final, went all the way to 5 games, and they very nearly could have been them in the upper bracket final. So of course the players were devastated. They just really want to make it into the top 2. They want to go to an international competition this time around. And there, as you're mentioning, Rock as well. JT in spring, they played a driver today. Also, we've got Rock, who is playing in for driver as well. We were kind of not too sure about the Rock pickup when we saw the roster changes pre-debut match yesterday, because I think you mentioned it as well, just Rock and driver seem like they have a bit in common in terms of their champ pool, so I'm not sure why JT went for this. I think behind the scenes, Rock has a very good relationship with a lot of the veteran players. For example, like Rock and Kongyura are also longtime friends, that sort of thing, so that might have been what went on, but we'll see. We'll see how he performs this split.
Yeah, and when you bring in Rock, you bring in a lot of experience as well, right? At this level of play, whereas on the flip side, Driver still a little bit new to playing at that top level. Pick and bans going through, Zeri, Lucian, Syndra taken away by Dewish team. It was a little bit interesting with the Syndra ban because no one really should be playing Syndra, but of course Uniboy, known for a time for his Syndra, known for his Zoe as well, and for the side of J team, they'll ban away the Gnar, Wukong, and the Gwen, which leaves the Viego left available. This is probably the most prized of the picks left.
Yeah, this is the most classic like 12-11 first pick that we're going to see. Barring the Syndra, as you mentioned. I think so far I've also only seen Mission from CFO opt to play the Syndra so far, but the rest of this looks like pretty standard 12-11. Oh, it's going to be the Callista. Oh, Callista, Renata, of course, very strong bot-sided duo. So that means they're actually going to leave the TK open for Duish. If they do decide to pick this one up, looks like will be the Azir Hover, and what else? Probably the AD carry, actually.
Yeah,
AD carry.
It certainly could just be like Azir Senna.
Azir,
or
Corgi,
TK.
Yeah.
TK mid lane.
Ezreal.
You know, Ezreal could come in.
Because there's a
Philios.
So that's true. Oh, Gragas would be really interesting. Gragas had a couple of buffs actually on 12-11, just because the durability patch for Gragas in particular harder than most other champions. So on 12-11, he got a couple of extra buffs back. I think they were just, he was just not in the right place to contest as the top tier pick in jungle or top lane. But oh my god, it's a Komir Lee Sin! Komir Lee Sin! Komir Lee Sin! Yes! I am so happy for this. I was really excited. I hope that like Komira yesterday would pick up the Lee Sin. That didn't happen, but then he had a fantastic performance on the Kiana bagging the MVP, and I was just hoping that because in PCS you have a lot of teams who don't draft exactly based off of what the meta is right now. They draft based off of what their players like to play. They draft based off of their own playstyle and what they're good at. And Komir, what he's good at, I was so excited, I literally just hit my arm. You don't have caster cam right now, but like my arms are going everywhere. But I'm so excited for Komir to be back on the Lee Sin. So 11, he's got buffs to his Q. His Q gets more damage as well as more follow-up damage, as well as just entirely in Komir's wheelhouse. I'm gassing him up too much. They better live up to these expectations. But back to the pick and ban to LeBlanc, Lysandra, Senna, as well as the Aphelios. It's interesting that the Senna Aphelios was on the dating side. I know they've already locked in the Callista, but usually Aphelios is like Lil V's namesake champion who's so good on that. But yeah, so it will be the Ezreals we are predicting in the first round for the side of the Jewish team. And then, Gamer Boy once again going to be on the Ari that he performed so well on yesterday. My arm hurts.
You were getting the Ari. Unfortunate is all I have to add. But a Jewish team, like, this is the cost you have for locking in the early Gragas pick. Gragas doesn't necessarily offer a ton as far as the pick ban goes, but because of that, they lose Aphelios, they lose Senna. The possibilities of grabbing one of those better AD carries, the A tier, Senna you can say in certain situations, the S tier, of course, synergy with the Corki we saw in the last game is really insane. But instead, they're going to be forced down onto this Ezreal, and Ezreal against the Kalista Renata. If you ever get caught out, it's just not a good time. But the big thing is, Ezreal does supplement the Corki poke as well. So a lot of range from Jewish team, but we'll see how it actually plays out, because the GP, I love this pick into these double range poke champions, because it just makes their life miserable.
Yeah, I like the GP. I think that was like the last piece that JT needed to fit into their puzzle, because it really helps to round out their entire composition. You were talking about it helps versus the poke, it helps versus the longer range that Jewish squad have, and then also he has good potential to just drop that all anywhere on the map when they're making plays. You've got the Lee Sin, you've got the Ari that just screams that JT want to make some roams, they want to play aggressive, and if they never have enough damage at any point in time, there's always the GPL that can just cross map finish them off. So I really like this setup coming out from J Team. I think they've picked up a lot of things that they're individually very good at. We've been talking of Uniboy's Ari, Lee Sin onto Komura, but Lil V also is a pretty good killer. So Lil V is one of those hyper carry type of ADCs that we see a bunch here in the PCS, just up there with like, you know, Doggo in the past with like Wako. Just he plays that type of hyper carry, so he's very used to playing AD carries such as Callista. So I think if JT can just make this work, it should be. I don't want to say it'll be easy for them, but they've got like they know what they got to do. So if they can execute that, they should be fine. But I think that Duish team also like they have a pretty strong like mid game type of composition. They've got the Corki, they've got the Ezreal as well. So there are a lot of options here for them, but not too sold on the Gragas pick. Like he did get some buffs on this patch, but I really don't think it's enough for them to consider putting Gragas into the roster. But who knows? Maybe it's something that they're individually very comfortable on, and with a Viego on their side, you know, that they first pick, there's always that chance that the Viego will show up big.
Yeah, it's coming into game number 3 of the day. It's Duish team taking on J team. 3 games in now, Jenny. We're almost past the halfway point. Already
no.
Yeah.
Where are my 6 games? Why are we down to 5 games? Where is my
we
best
only have
of...
10 teams. We don't. None of our teams want to play twice in one day. That's not fun.
That's true. That's true. But I like that we get every team playing on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and they get 1 game each. I think it's always a really fun format. I think like it really forces the teams to be able to reset mental fast enough because you don't have that much time on game days to prep for your next match. Oh, this is so sneaky. They're in the 3rd bush.
They don't know. Bang 2. He gets jumped on. He's gonna get handshook. He doesn't get thrown back into his squad, but that is so much damage being pumped out into that bottom lane of Duish.
And it's 150. He doesn't have time to go back into lane. He's forced to pop. I'm not sure if he's gonna pop all of his pots. He's only got one left. Yeah, should just be the 2, but that is so rough. Also because he's running teleport flash on the Ezreal versus Lil V, who has the extra heal in the lane. The fact that Bang 2 doesn't have any type of sustain summons is really going to cost him. And meanwhile, Uniboy playing very aggressively at the start already. He has the level 2, so he does have the Q as well as W. I kind of miss when, you know, Ari uses skill Q right nowadays. Most Aris will skill the W unless it's very situational, because W gives you a very single target. It helps if you want to play aggressive, which is exactly how Uniboy likes to play, because you get a bit more damage onto one person with the W than you do on the Q. But we'll come back to check on that lane again later. WSL right now has a level 3. It's going to pick up Rid. A couple of pings actually from the JT side on the bot side Tribush. I'm not sure if they want to try and pull Komura down after he... Yep. That's what it looks like. They've got the preparatory ward over in Tri, but WSL is gonna come here too after Krugs. It's gonna be a 3v3. Oh, Hook
lands.
Walk it off.
Yeah, they're trying to walk it off, Jenny. I don't feel like
how to walk.
They are struggling to walk. Maybe crawling. But they're starting to get there. Bang 2, you know, it was a tough level 1, but the hook lands. It's going to land onto Lil V as well. Oh my lord. They actually jump in onto Enzo. Enzo's going to be taken low, but they switch their target back over to Lil V. Lil V should get the first kill. Yes, it does, but the reset doesn't come fast enough. It does eventually go through, and now Lil V reses, and Bang 2 is just left alone. Just wondering... All my friends are dead.
I thought Lil V was dead for real, but that shield just came in clutch. You're gonna take a look at the replay.
Here's the replay.
What I want to take note of at the start is that Kongre, he's gone. He's gone. He's so far gone. He's actually
He's out of
passing
here.
and hitting towards
Bye-bye.
the top. So JT are playing this from a 2 versus 3 perspective, right? So
Yeah.
Enhal, he gets the at first it looks like it's gonna come up roses for the Jewish team squad, but there's the shield that comes up, and Lil V, props to him because my man has no fear. He just straight up ran forward, knowing that if he died, it's gonna be minus 400 for the first blood gold as well. So he was all or nothing. He went for it. He got it. I guess you know, pro players, they built it. They calculated that damage on that one, and he ends up getting 2 kills off of that right now. It's absolutely huge.
That was big, but also for the side of Jewish team, if you look at the replay once again, we see that they land the hook onto Enzo, or they land the hook onto Lil V, they turn their attention onto Enzo, and then halfway through they're like, oh wait, we should kill the Callista. So there was just no target focus. For sure they would have gotten 1 kill if they just focused their attention onto either, but they, you know, got a little bit too starry-eyed.
I agree. I think it's going to be a little bit of the battle of the N supports here in the bot side. It's Enso versus Enho. And like Enso, it comes from his Chinese, I think his Mandarin name is Unswap. So that's why like they recognize it like that. But you know, the N supports, we'll see. We'll see how that one continues to play out. But Uniboy getting the level 6 faster than his counterpart. Xiao is still on the level 5, and Corky is just so reliant on his level 6 to use the rockets to be able to help clear the lane, especially versus a laner such as Ari, who's pretty much just wanting to clear the way fast and roam, and she's going to be using her Q a lot to do that. So you really need...
Oh, hook lands!
That. Once again,
more fighting! This time they should okay, they don't actually secure the kill, and now the turn coming in with the help of Rock's ultimate will be won back in favor of JT. Man needs just going for it. He gets another double with the spear at the very end in WSL.
Yeah, that's the power of the gameplay that we were talking about, right? Like Rock even managing to pick up the assist right there with his first ultimate at level 6. I like what JT did right here, which is they knew very well when everyone is going to hit level 6, and they played that together so well. We saw the 3 people being pulled down to the bottom side. Komiya, although he didn't really get an assist or anything, they were able to communicate that well. There's the Q going to land onto N, so he does kind of flash a bit awkwardly into the middle of the minion wave that is able to come back into there, and then they give like ultimate just for the extra zone. Lil V just mechanical perfection, and we talk a lot about how you don't tower dive on 12-11 because the tower evades hurts so much.
Oh, they're turning around.
Not again!
Oh, so long. This Nautilus pick.
He's 5-0-0. Lil V, like, he's 15 CS up also. He's almost 20 CS up at this point. I don't, this just looks like a GG go next to me.
This is, please, can we restart scrims?
Yeah. This is like you know, guys, my screen froze. I think we need to, like, remake.
Yeah, for
kind of angle that
if Jewish Steve had the option, you would pause and ask for remake right here, right now. But unfortunately,
the player gold graph is just absolutely brutal. Lil V's at about 1.5, 1500
Konger is here
over anyone else, and yeah, Konger is here for the blue buff steal. He lands the Q. WSL knows this. He sees Konger actually land the first Q and doesn't want to deal with Konger if he does a follow up. So he's just gonna very respectfully back out of that one. Wait a minute, he's gonna use the blasting plan. Yeah, he thought about it. I was gonna blast out to safety, but nope. He's gonna also pick up the grump as well as he's gonna set WSL a bit further behind. WSL is that Wolves, so he knows that Komi is just eating the top half of his jungle, but he doesn't really have the leeway to call Xiao Tu over to Wolves to help him, so he's just gonna lose 2 camps just like that, and JT will be able to translate this into the Herald pickup also that will Rock down from the top side, and it's again very good timing. We haven't seen a lot of how Rock is managing the barrels over on the top side, but he does have the wave pushed in versus the Gragas, which gave him the opportunity to do this 2-man Shelly. And so far, JT, they look like they're doing everything right so far. It's a 3,500 gold lead. pre-10 minutes. That's crazy.
This is a very, very large lead. Also, score-wise, kill score-wise, it's J-Team up 5-0. And 100% of those kills, not KP, but straight up kills, is on to Lil V. So the onus is onto him to perform, and as we've seen already in this game, he's a little bit addicted to getting hit by Nautilus hooks. So we have to keep track of that as it moves into the mid game, because we saw it in playoffs. He just could not. They had to ban it after a certain point.
Like the stream, like everyone in chat was just like, Lil V, like one game he could eat like 6 to 8 Nautilus hooks, and after like 3 or 4 games of that in playoffs, JD were just like, yeah, we're just banning Naut because Lil V's mental is boom. Maybe his mental is a boom, but like our mental, watching him get hit by hook after hook is just boom. So that was really hilarious. I love that you brought that up because it was a great memory. Maybe not for JT, but you know, for all of us who enjoy the entertainment value. Yeah, that was stonks right there. That was broadcast gold.
Yeah, absolutely. And now, with all the gold in his pocket, he has to try and carry. Xiaotu now has the package, of course, on a not S tier skin. But still a really cool one. It may not be the best, but it's pretty neat. It's a golden rocket ship.
It is the worst. If it is not the best, it is the worst.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, now he's got the flank onto Rock. Maybe he pops it a little bit too early, but Rock does have to burn the flash. We'll walk it off, and now we'll see if Dewish look to make a play around this Herald, but I mean, Herald already tossed down in this mid lane. This could be scary, but yeah, it looks like everyone's just coming towards this mid lane. It's a 3v3. Do they look for the engage? The answer is no.
Yeah, the Q isn't going to land as well. It's just kind of a little parting gift, waving goodbye as everyone backs out to safety. But the thing is, such an early Shelly means that I think they picked up 3 plates from that. So it's super stonks for the squad of JT.
You're saying super stonks, but I'm seeing like to the moon stonks down in bot lane. Yeah, because
so like the reverse of whatever happened to Bitcoin.
Yeah, whatever happened there. We probably don't talk about that, but now great ultimate coming in. The Gragas ult is going to be able to secure that kill. WSL taking a ton of damage from that increased tower damage, but they managed to pull it off and down into this bottom lane. They're gonna get a tier 2
This is nuts.
tower.
12 minutes tier 2, it's absolutely insane. Also the fact that Kongyura, I like what he's done this time around, which is he's kind of recognized that right now Lil V is the star, and Lil V, if they just carry through him, JT can actually end this game pretty early. So he's actually been like, you know, doing his job and just going for the roam safety. Like they went for the objective over at Shelly, they used that to get pressure and move and get 3 plates, and then he just instantly rotated to bot to help pick up tier 2 as well. So he's not really going for that like aggressive Lee Sin style that we know that he likes to play, but he's doing what is best for JT right now. Just, you know, what you like to see. It's what you like to see, like when your teammates are being good teammates. But right now, Uniboy doesn't have all that many creeps. He would love to actually pick up this last tower plate before tower plates go down. Not sure if that will be possible, but Xiaotu, as you mentioned, Corgi not using Corki skin, boo! And so on the side, not gonna make anything happen, but it does give a vision, so they know that they've got a roaming Renata over by the side. WSL.
Oh, Lil V!
No! He's pushed up too! Okay, he's gonna back out.
Okay,
there is a ward by Dewish over in the river, so they do know where Lil V has gone. But props to Dewish for being able to keep their top side tower.
Oh, Xiaotu, he's gonna get jumped on and does have to burn the flash. The flash kick comes in. Xiaotu is just dead. Nowhere to go, no more mobility, and Kongyura secures his first kill of the game at long last, taking something away from Lil V, but Lil V now in trouble. 1v3 trying to pull it off, but he's got support now. His support is here, and that lined it up perfectly for the hostile takeover. Their CC down, Bang 2 goes down, the hook lands. Can they return one back? It's a double kill. Uniboy joins in at the back end, and they just get 3 clean kills 4 altogether and maybe trying to secure an unofficial ace. Lakune will disengage with that ultimate, but ultimately won't be able to get anything back to avenge his fallen teammates.
Man, that was played by JT so well. Also, I know for a fact that Kungir uses the crying bee emote to BM. Because I've seen it happen a lot of times before, and I've asked him. But yeah, at the start, it looks like Lil B is in a 1v3 that he shouldn't quite start, but then you can see Enzo just popping the Nada ultimate right there. That's the signal for the re-engage from JT. And you can see Uniboy, he's actually preparing to go for the flank right here. So Dewish, they think that 2 or 3 under the tower is safe. You can see they also burn Lacuna's teleport to come back into lane, thinking that they do have a shot with the 3v2, but then there's Uniboy at the side who's just able to clean up shop. So very well played from the squad of JT. We were just praising Dewish.
Yes, continue to praise Dewish, yes? I don't know what you're praising, but praise him.
No, we were just saying, well, I was just saying that, you know, they've done a good job so far at not letting the GP get that far ahead. Just two PCS, I'm sure. But they had the top tower tier 1 healthy up until that point. It was like the last surviving tier 1 tower that they did have, and GG is going to take them from, them again. You know, Konya is going to pick up another Shelly.
All right, Rira. Here's the big question.
Me.
We're 16 minutes in. It's 8k gold advantage for JT.
Yeah.
Now tell me, will we get an inhib down before 20 minutes?
Ooh, yeah, I think for sure, because I mean they have Shelly, they picked up the top side tier 2 as well. They've got top and bot tier 2.
Oh, but a hook? Can they actually get a kill? That's the question. Teleport coming all the way in the back. Shout to with the 007 secret agent play, but it is going to be the Berserk landing, and I think he's dead. Okay.
Oh my god, Kongre just didn't even need to follow up. He just queued from the back of the tier 2 tower and didn't have to follow up.
Is this the inhib tower?
Yeah.
You said yes, and you know.
And I was right. Turns out I do have a career.
No, but it's not the inhib.
Yeah, it's a pre-17-minute inhib, not even pre-20 minutes. And I love how we were saying earlier about how there are some teams in the PCS that just straight up don't care what the meta is. I mean, durability patch, late game, pick scaling. Not for us, man. JT would just straight up pick the Lee Sin, pick the Ari, and just go ham in the early stages of the game. The thing is that Xiaotu had a great flank right here. If they weren't this far behind in gold, like this is great positioning. Soon goes in with the passive right there. I mean, if he just had more items, maybe Dewish could have tried to collapse off of that. But as it is, it's just going to use the package and get out, and then JT get the inhib. So I'm not sure what Dewish can really do at this point. I think they're just trying to play it safe. Just try to poke at range, make advantage of the fact that they have longer arms than the JT squad with the Corky package, with the LWT as well as Wave.
They look a little surrounded though. I think
oh
they're dead.
No! They didn't let him get over the wall!
Another offering for Lord Lil V. We should call him, instead of Lil V, it should be Lord V. Because he is 9-0 he almost has double-digit kills.
No, you know what? You've got it wrong. Like, it's actually Lil the 5th. The V stands for the 5th.
Oh.
He's like King Lil the 5th. That's
I see. I see.
Yeah.
Now, you know what?
Yeah.
Shout to... He might be dead. He's gonna get locked up. He's gonna get charmed. He's gonna go berserk. I don't know how that works when it comes to, you know, actual emotions where you're charmed yet you're berserk. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, also JT, I kind of feel like they didn't need to be that enthusiastic about killing the Xiao because they
We
used
must
a
kill him.
lot. They used so much. They dropped the Gangplank ultimate there as well. I don't know if Rock was just like, you know what, I'm
Here's
bored,
in
guys.
him.
Like, I want like that participation. I want to feel like I'm part of this team. It's so hard
I'm
to make
helping.
Lil V and Konya show I'm helping. That's the one. JT though, I respect how they did the inhib and then they
Lil V is on
I'll praise them when
3
they back
full
out.
items.
Okay, they backed out.
He is on
That's
3
nuts.
full items.
Yo, that's
Uh,
not fair. Versus the Essence Reaver and then parts of items. What
yeah,
with the Warhammer and the CDB? That's
yeah,
actually impossible to play
yeah.
against.
But in
Yeah.
positive news, we do have a Corki with the completed Ludens. So the rockets are going to start doing damage. The issue is he needs the transformation on his Manamune, which should be coming soon. But even if you factor all those in, can Corki overcome a 10k gold lead? That's the question we're trying to ask here. And we should find out, but you know what? I think what we're finding out here is Xiao Tu is too far from home.
Xiao Too Far From Home. I like that one. That was a
Yeah,
good movie. You know what?
that was the
But I
sequel
don't
to
think
Xiao 1.
Oh no! I don't think that Jewish want to see that movie win, you know. But Xiao, of course, he's Al Real, who will something like the original role they played in Alpha Esports last year, and maintaining Xiao. I was
Are they going for a steal?
all the
I don't think it's gonna work.
Charmlands.
No. I mean,
Yeah,
it's against Callista. It's
it
against
was.
Lee Sin.
Yeah, and once Uniboy got the charm onto WSL, it was pretty much no chance that they would go for the Miracle Baron steal at that point. Lil V, he's just picked up the item that will make him actually unkillable.
Yeah, he's got GA. So
Yep,
now
that,
on
yep.
top of having, you know, Enzo to keep him alive, he's gonna have a second life in general. So Enzo can just hold on to that W until after his GA goes away, and then just
Mm-hmm.
pop it on top of him for him to get yet another life. And in that time span, who knows if he even dies anyways, because he's got so much sustain. He has the completed Ginsu's uh, Ginsu's Rage Blade, so he's stacking up those red stacks incredibly quickly, which
Mm-hmm.
means also a lot more sustain, and they don't have really any sustain cut. So it's a tough, tall task, but remember, you know, Xiao Tu completed 2 items. This is as good as it gets for Gorky. Um, I don't know if that's good enough.
Yeah, JT are also playing this very smart. So they know they've got the open and hidden mid, so they've got the super minions, and then they're using the Baron buff to empower the minions over in the bot side as well. So they're doing like kind of a 4-1. Kunlu's been sitting in mid right there, just spreading the
Yeah.
buff to the mid side minions. So they're just making the maximum use of the buffs that they do have. And do wish they look like they want to try and go for an engage with the dragons.
Going for
Oh,
the
they're
pick
gonna try
on
to catch
Tagoria.
Tagoria!
They get the damage. They do get the pick, but they lose that bot lane tower. Now, can the side of Duish find anything else now that they have a man advantage, or do they just say, "Hey, we took away your jungler, J Team, so that means you guys have to back off now"? But it doesn't look like J Team respect that, because now you've removed their big main engage. They're going to go for it. They land the barrel. It lands onto the Lil V, which is the target, and that will be him getting his GA pop, but there's no damage left. That's both of the backline carries gone, and that will be the game for JT. They do it 4v5. That's how large these wallets are. They're playing with house money. They've thrown the entire bank at Duish.
WSL waved that little white flag emoji at the end to Uniboy who was watching over by the side, but did Uniboy care? He did not. He went in for the charm and patted his kitty a bit more at the end. I cannot with this team, man. But I mean, George, they tried as hard as they could. I think they're maybe losing out a bit already during the draft phase. We weren't too sure what entirely was going on with the draft. It didn't look like it was all on the same page. Whereas the JT were able to play out their comp the way that we kind of hoped that they would, right? With the Lee Sin, with the Ari. I mean, sure, all that extra bonus stuff that happened with the Callista early on was great, but even without that, I think that like the way that JT was playing this game, their condition was so good they would have been able to close that one out.
Yeah, I mean, JT and they just look very, very focused and dialed in. And that's even through the mishaps in the early game, right? Even though Lil V was able to get back-to-back double kills, what happened? He got hit by hooks. He kept getting hit by hooks in that laning phase, but, you know, he overcame, and after a certain point, he just accumulated so much money, he was just wearing an armor of platinum. Like, you just can't touch the man. It's diamonds coated Lil V. Lord V, as we call him. So he just ran away with the game. Like, oh, what is there to say?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you mentioned right before that last team fight about whether or not he even needed the GA because he had like a pocket Renata behind him all the time. And when we saw Kongir get caught and we saw JT be like, no, we are still fighting, we are still going in, and we saw them go for the 4v5, and they're just like dawned on us like, oh, that's why he has GA. And yeah, it came in clutch in that very last team fight. I think for this matchup, I just wish that I'd seen Dewish maybe go for a different type of strategy, because when you look at the JT roster, right, there are a couple of teams in the PCS like JT and like PSG that can carry out of 3 members on their squad, right? PSG, it's their top mid as well as unified, whereas JT, it's their AD carry mid as well as jungle with Konya. That's traditionally how they have liked to play. This time around, especially now that you've got Rock, who we're not sure how used to the rest of the team he is, I would have thought maybe Dewish wanted to try and exploit that weakness into making something happen in the game. However, they picked the Gragas over in the top side that I don't think was very useful. I wasn't completely sold on it. So yeah, I'm a bit disappointed.
Yeah, if we're at an auction, no one's betting on that Gragas. No one wants it. No one is putting their hand up. Nope. No, absolutely not. Because it just had no impact. So looking at the post-game stats, looking at the damage, you know, Corky Ezreal tried, but they were just set way too far behind, and Ari actually doing a lot of work as well. So credit goes out to Uniboy for making a lot of plays, but in the end, we all know who the MVP is, and it's not Uniboy. It's not Kongria. It's not Enzo.
It's not Rock.
Enzo, you know, he had some good ults, but no, it's just Lil V. We all know. It was Lord V all along. 11, 0, and 5. He just had control of this game from beginning and end. He was 5-0-0 when his team was only up 5-0, so he had 100% of the kills, and it's just absurd. And this was a composition that needed this Callista to get ahead to really make a statement, and get ahead they did.
Yeah, for sure. That's exactly what they needed to do. I mean, we've seen Callista not even just yesterday, but today as well. Like, when you play Callista, you need to snowball, you need to play her as a hyper carry. Otherwise, it's just really hard for your team to win if they're playing around you. But that was not a problem today for Lil V. He was able to do exactly what the team needed him to do, and very well deserved MVP for them today. I think Uniboy, there was so much action going on in the game that we didn't have time forgetting to mention it, but Uniboy, like he was able to land very good Ari charms as well. I mean, if you saw his performance yesterday also, he always plays the team fight so well. On 12-11, when you get like these extended skirmishes, it pretty much means like Uniboy on Ari, he's gonna charm to start the fight if he gets a pick, and then like 8 seconds later, he's charming again to clean up. And that was just what we saw a few times, especially in the late game. So it was just chef's kiss perfection. But guys, don't go anywhere. We're gonna go for a very short break before we come back with game number 4 of week 1, day 2, PCS Summer.